So it's November 21st, I believe, and as Carneys investments, potential conflicts of interest are finally now, 8 months later, being investigated in committee. We see the individual who is managing the blind trust is an old buddy of his who sat on, was a Brookfield board, some board or another with Carney. And this individual, I forget his name, he's obfuscating and dodging and carrying on. But anyways, the supporters of Mark the Wef Carney, the Albosians, the anything but conservative crowd, and the low info and low IQ voters who didn't realize they were re-electing the WEF. I see in the comments on social media are saying, well, there's no conflict of interest. Carney divested himself of anything that might be in conflict. No, he didn't divest himself. Let's go to the dictionary here. Divest, meaning of, to sell or dispose. No, he put them in a blind trust because the ethics commissioner tries to tell us it's the same thing as divesting. Yeah, okay. Do you think Carney has forgotten what he owns? Millions of dollars worth of stock? Like he just went blind because it's a blind trust. Yeah, okay. Good one. Do you suppose Carney couldn't, potentially, possibly, probably, maybe hook up with his buddy once in a while and say, hey, how about picking up some stock in, what he just announced in BC, the projects out there, or something similar. Well, I guess we just have to trust to Carney's honesty, his morality, his scruples, and just him being an all-around good and honest fella. I guess we have to. Doesn't seem to be any other choice in the matter. So, it kind of reminds me, 1986, in the province of British Columbia, Willie Wooden Shoes was the premier, Bill Vander Zalm. Right across the Fraser River from Vancouver City downtown, Richmond, British Columbia. Sort of where some of that land issue problems, ownership is going on right now. Anyways, right across the Fraser River from Vancouver proper, Richmond. It was held in a land reserve, agricultural reserve, for a long time. And Willie Wooden Shoes, the premier, bought a 400-acre property out there. It was called Wonderland, and it was kind of a theme park, miniature Disneyland, if you will. I don't think it ever really prospered or anything, but he picked up the 400 acres for $400,000. And then as premier, he rezoned a lot of land in Richmond, including Wonderland, the 400 acres. And gee, a lot of his buddies have been scooping up properties in Richmond around the same time. Shades of Doug Ford and the Greenbelt, although it seems that failed. But anyways, the Wonderland property went overnight for the zoning change from an agricultural reserve to some kind of commercial zoning. Went from 400,000 to 4 million overnight with the zoning change. Now, the local media at that time was actually doing what we now call journalism, and they accosted Bill and said, hey, dude, you made that zoning change and you just made $4 million off of that property. And he said, I don't know anything really about that. It belongs to Lil. I don't really know anything about that. Lil was his wife. Well, the media came back the next day and said, Bill, we went to, the land registry or whatever, and you own 97% of the property. Lil owns 3%. I don't know. I'm busy running a province. I can't remember details like $4 million in one day. You can't remember that, Bill? I think you do. Anyways, Bill got busted in the end. Had to resign as premier. He got caught. The local media had popped out of the hedge on the front lawn of Fei Liang, a Hong Kong real estate developer, her and Bill were in some pretty good partnerships there, but she handed him a literal paper bag with 20 grand cash in it. And out popped out the media, and Bill was like, "Oh, what?" That was the end of Bill as premier, but it wasn't the end of the corruption. But anyways, I imagine Carney and his buddy might get together down at the Loyal Lodge of Water Buffaloes there with Fred and Barney. Be sharing a cognac, and Bill might be saying, or not Bill, Mark the F. Carney might be saying, "Gee, I haven't forgotten what my stock is. And how about picking up some more of this stuff?" But we can only trust to Mark the F. Carney's honesty and integrity, scruples, morals, and values, I guess. Mm-hmm.